Hi Amit, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. How are you? I'm good, thank you.
I'm good, Amit. Thank you. So Amit, hope you received the JD.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Why you are showing the interest that this is a data manager role,
hmm
and as you know, you are dealing with all the different US MNC client,
hmm
and this role is 80% it will be technical, 20% will be people management. So
hmm
why you are showing the interest?
Okay. So, in terms of job description which you have shared, if you have seen my CV, it's basically in align with my skill set which I'm currently doing, and I believe that my current skill sets and your expectations for the role for which you're hiring is in pretty much in align. Though there may be some skills which I may require to learn that I can learn on the go. So I believe it's a good match for both of us. So hence I'm applying for this role.
Excellent. So yeah, as I mentioned in JD, we are looking someone who have a 10 to 15-year experience into strong, solid knowledge on data management, data reporting, data visualization, business intelligence. Also, we are looking will be very solid knowledge on data governance, data quality role. And also we are looking who be managerial role. It is like more than 20 plus people, under the job role they are going to report, and at the same time someone should
Mhm.
be dealing with all our stakeholder and client there in a global region. I hope this role will fit for you.
Correct. So as
Yeah.
you mentioned all the points in the job description. So in my current project, basically it's not one project. I'm handling. We have different clients and
Yeah.
three clients. Basically, I'm looking for, and for all three clients, they have different data sources, and I'm managing a team of five as well. So where I have to keep tab on all these projects and the team members, and still manage the stakeholders, because ultimately when internal review is done, I go and present to my clients that this is the our finding, or these are the dashboards. So uh, I think we are both are in align what we are seeking for.
Okay, nice. So can you bit elaborate your role and responsibility, how what are the project you engage, and what is your current daily task, so that me and
Mhm.
team can get clear picture about your profile.
Okay, so let me give you a kind of overview of myself. So myself, Hamid Pawar, I have around 12 years of experience, most of in data management, where I have involved in Excel, Tableau, and SQL at given point of time. In terms of my education, I have done my MS from London Metropolitan University, and in the current projects, which is as I mentioned earlier, it's a multi projects I'm basically managing and also managing the team. So my daily task usually involves, first thing is to check the current status on all these projects, check status of the progress which is made by team on these. Also have calls with my clients so that I can provide them update what's happening, and also if there are any changes, because usually few clients of mine are very tricky. They have kind of changing requirements, so I had to align my task and communicate the same to the team so that same they can do. So it's a kind of mix and match of everything. I manage clients as well, manage the team as well, and also oversee the entire data management process, where which if any team member is facing any issue, try to resolve that. And if there is some issue we are facing in team one, but which was solved by team number two, I usually get that knowledge and share with the team one so that they can resolve that issue. So it's a kind of mix and match of everything. Manage technical aspect, manage the process, and also manage the internal my management, company's management, and then the stakeholders. So these are pretty much my daily activities.
Okay, nice, great to hear. You done MBA from London University.
MS sir,
Yeah,
MS
it is.
in
Yeah,
software
MSc. Yeah,
engineering.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
MSc. Okay,
technical degree. Yeah.
it's a full time.
Yes, full-time degree. And when I was doing it's between 2009 and 2011, that time they had a visa called post-study work visa. In that,
Okay,
which allowed me to work 2 years in UK. For those 2 years, I was working in UK.
staying 2 year in UK, I mean London, and completed not get opportunity from work there.
At that point of time, there were kind of a recession happening because world was coming out from 2008 2009 recession,
Mhm.
and at 2011 there were no employers who could sponsor me and continue. Though I tried Deloitte UK, I had few rounds there, but in a round one itself, I mentioned them that you need to sponsor work visa for me. After four technical rounds was cleared, and HR came back and said they cannot proceed with my application because of there is no sponsorship slots available for them. So hence I had to come back. And when I came back, I joined Inotics Technologies, which is basically BNY company.
Yeah.
That's how I started again back in India
Okay.
in
So
2011,
what is the
13.
team size now you are handling?
Currently, for one project, I have 5 team members, and other two projects, we have 3 and 3 members. So around 10 to 11 members currently I'm
Okay.
handling. Yeah.
So what are the stake or client are they in the global region clients?
Yeah, so it's basically a few. We are basically education, a company where we provide Salesforce services. So all our clients are universities. All three universities are in US. So hence, part of my job description is I work in EST time zone. Also, I work few hours in Indian time zone to manage my Indian team. So that's how I had to, juggle around the timings and the clients. But all my clients are based in US only.
Okay, nice. So just one scenario, consider there is a two candidate a developer.
Hmm.
They are working under you. One is getting good salary but not working performance. One another
Hmm.
candidate under you who is working, okay, he's doing great job at the place, but
Hmm.
salary is not getting much. But
Okay.
like he's expecting promotion at
Mm.
a high. What
Mm.
you'll do this scenario?
Okay. First of all,
You'll
the
wait for
person.
the appraisal
Hmm.
life cycle. Yeah, you are going to give any solution for that. But he's
Uh,
expecting the salary promotion now because the appraisal will come maybe this after December or
mhm.
January. So
Okay.
how will you overcome these challenges?
Okay. First thing first, the candidate who is basically currently highly paid but is not performing. So it's a kind of a performance issue where I need to have a one-to-one discussion with the resource one who has currently getting paid higher but not working as expected. So that is the area where his improve performance needs to get improved. So I will have a discussion with him and highlight him that these are the area of improvements for him, because if you don't perform for certain next quarter or next 2 quarters, then it would be a difficult situation. And for the candidate who is actually performing well but is underpaid, I will keep him motivated, and in on the parallel lines I will keep communicating with my managers for his appraisals to happen in align with the candidate A, because it's kind of unfair for a candidate B to be underpaid but working smartly. So the basically what we need to do is, first candidate who is not performing well, we need to improvise his performance to the level with which he is getting paid, right? And on the second part, we need to keep second candidate to be motivated as much as possible so that he does not leave the company. And also in parallel in the back end, I need to communicating with my managers and HR team or finance team that he needs appraisal and it should be up to the par of the candidate A, so that they shouldn't, if they communicating back end, they should not feel that I'm underpaid and overworked. So it's basically we need to maintain the balance, because if somebody is overpaid but not working as expected, it means that there is performance improvement is required. Hence, candidate one, candidate B,
If the
we need to
performance
keep.
is not going to improve, that candidate,
Yeah,
what will do?
yeah. For that we need to have a roadmap which needs to be communicated to candidate that these are the 1 or 2 quarters, or based on with
Still,
discussion from
after
my
the two
manager.
quarter also, if they're not performing up to mark, what is the action you will take?
So action would be, first thing, that would reflect in his annual performance review. Ratings will not be good and will be communicated in the entire process. It's not a one-time job. It's a cyclic process. I need to keep my managers appraised of all the situation that this person is not performing well. and maintain the email chains when the task was assigned, whether that task is getting completed or not. So it's
No,
basically.
still the performance,
Mm-hmm,
after spending time, putting effort, but
mm-hmm,
still the performance is not up to mark. What are the action you
mm-hmm.
will take?
Yeah. So action from my end would be, because I'm not the authority either to give a pink slip. So what I could do is I could summarize the entire duration, say 6 months or 8 months or 1 year, the performance of that candidate to my manager, and keep HR appraised on that. When I say appraised, it means that keep them informed that this is happening. So based on that, they can take a
But your
call
manager,
based on the
suppose you are
policies.
reporting to vice president, and the
Mm-hmm,
vice president don't want to the candidate should be stay there. What is
mm-hmm,
the action you will take in between? You are telling reporting to a manager. Manager is your vice president. He don't
mm-hmm,
want to the candidate which is not performing well.
mm-hmm.
He should stay there. He should not go away. In
Correct.
this case, how will manage the
Correct.
situation?
So if you don't want to let the candidate let go,
Oh,
and there is only one solution, that candidate needs to improvise his performance over the period of time. And in order to monitor that, in order to measure, when I say measure, it means that give them daily tasks, get the email response whether a task was completed or not. So because everything is data, and to prove something he is not performing, I need a data, substantial data. So hence keep them apprised. And also second side, as the human side, what we need to do is check with the candidate one why he is not performing. There can be family issue, there can be stresses, there can be any professional stress can
but
happen.
business
There could
point of
be
view,
a.
it is already, you spend 6 months or 1 year still that
Yeah.
the higher level, that bridge between you and the candidate. They
Hmm.
want to stay, the candidates to stay in the company, but it is
Hmm.
company is going to lose a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but at some point of time, if say nothing has improved over the period of time, then actually it's a red flag. And red flags we need to highlight to management that this is not an asset now. The resource has become a liability. So at some point of time, we need to raise those red flags.
Okay. Okay. So looks like when you're telling data management, data reporting, also you are dealing a lot of data from CRM tool, correct?
Yeah,
Which
yeah. So
CRM tool you are using?
so basically, Salesforce CRM. For one client, we are using Salesforce CRM and Azure DevOps. So from those, we are extracting data, and either put one part is we go to SQL, and then come back to the Excel, and then create the dashboard. So that's how the process for one
Can you
project
bit
is.
explain what are the Salesforce work you do in your daily task?
Okay, so for Salesforce, the current application which university is using, in that we have number of, basically we are tracking number of applications per university or per college. So for one university, there could be sub colleges available. So we need to manage that. That data comes, application data of each student comes in to the Salesforce. So from Salesforce, we need to extract that data, and then based on that we need to provide a reporting to the client, that what number of applications are received per month, or per quarter, or per 6 months, and based on that. So for that we need to have data. So that data is being captured in Salesforce, that we extract first, and then if there is required, we do the cleanup in Excel, and then we can import to the SQL server.
Okay. So just consider you are going for like suppose you are considering your profile, and
Hmm.
we are doing great at a data analytics, data science, business analytics, data management role. But
Hmm.
our next roadmap is a data governance.
Hmm.
How will where you will start data
Okay.
governance?
Okay.
What is your roadmap from scratch to the up to the client level? Can you
Hmm.
bit elaborate data governance, data quality,
Okay.
data lineage role you will take?
Correct. Okay. So in order to implement any data governance, first, in any organization will have their data governance policies. Okay. So first thing first is, if there is any data governance policies already available, check that policy first, and then based on that policy, we need to create a data governance framework. So let's assume that there could be two scenarios. One is, an organization may have already have a data governance policy. That's one. Based on that, that's our what we can say. That's our foundation for going ahead with the data governance. Second situation where company is still growing, but they don't have any data governance policy available, then we need to sit down and understand what kind of data is available, what kind of data we are basically handling, and which is being exposed to various system across the organization. Also, that data is being exposed to any clients or not, and what kind of data is basically, if it's PI data or not. So it's basically every step by step we have to go. So if policy is not available, based on the data, we need to understand the data first. Then based on that data, we need to create a framework of data governance, that this is PI data or this is sensitive data. That kind of a GDPR rule should apply there. So that kind of framework we have to start from scratch when the company or organization does not have the data governance policy. So approach would be two ways. When company has already a data governance policy, B, when the organization do not have a data governance policy. So based on that, we need to take the approach, and based on that, we need to create a roadmap how to implement that. And then once its data governance framework is ready, how to implement that across the organization, because it's just not fruitful just to create a framework, but it is not being implemented or rolled back to the entire organization, right? Because say we have 10, 15,000 employees, and if we don't roll back, what's the point of having a governance policy, right? So that policy we need to enforce. So to enforce that, we need a data governance tools which can be used. So that, I think I haven't worked on those data governance tools, but those can be learned as I on the go.
Okay,
As
good, excellent.
required, we can learn those tools, but I
Yeah,
haven't worked on personally
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
any data governance tool yet. But yeah, that's a my career roadmap as well, to after being data analyst, need to go to the data governance role. That's basically my future plan as well. As you It's basically, that's why I said we are
Okay,
in a line of what you are looking for a candidate and what I'm
fine.
looking as my current job, and as well as the my
Okay,
future career roadmap.
okay. So, as a your data manager, see, recently you heard that Indian government is give the
Yeah.
bill pass of like general data protection rule, like
Yeah.
last 10 year, 15 year, that Europe countries, UK, all the countries that are following GDPR data protection rule. How will define in your organization? Suppose you are coming to, that's okay, data governance, you're building for or a customer and client, but how data general data protection role will define in
Mm.
your company point of
Okay.
view?
Okay. So,
How
so
you'll
the,
standardize the rules and policies
mm,
regulations so that the entire
mm,
organization they can follow your rules,
mm,
standards, and the policies, set up the goals, and they can the data should be available to everybody. They can data
mm,
privacy they can
how
maintain. Can it be?
long?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So I think it's good you brought this topic up. So there are it's a multifaceted problem. When I say multifaceted problem, it means that say we are organization residing or located within India boundaries, but we maintain the US data. Okay, that's one scenario. So in this scenario, what will happen is, and if that data is only for US client, or within US clients is being handled, and that data is not being used somewhere within Indian boundaries. Okay, that's one scenario. Second scenario is we host the data which contains the data of US and Indian citizen as well. Right. So that's the one second situation. In first situation, what we need to do is we need to first implement or enforce the US data governance laws, and then if there is applicability. So first thing first is feasibility. We need to identify whether the Indian Data Protection Act is implemented or is applicable or not. So applicability of law is very important in this case. So if it's applicable, then only we can implement or enact that law in the for this data. Second situation where the data is basically covering US and Indian citizens as well, then very well we have to implement that act for the as a part of data governance. I haven't read through all the entire act yet, but that general understanding is these kind of data protection laws applies to the citizens or applies to the data. So applicability of that data governance rules or act we need to identify. So we can identify only based on the data. If data is found to be within the Indian Act, then yeah, enforce that. Plus, if it's enforce the contains the US citizen data, enforce the US data governance law. That's my understanding. I haven't been to data governance entire family, but that's my general understanding is.
Okay, nice. So, you are also a bit of knowledge and Alteryx knowledge you have, because you are looking.
Alteryx, I have tried. So basically, it's a kind of a data governance tool. I tried to install, but it has got 30 days trial period. As I mentioned that in my weekend free time, I try to learn something new so that I can use that in future. But I just know that it's a kind of a data governance tool which can be used. So I think most of the auditor companies, big fours, usually they are using. That's my understanding, but I haven't
No, actually, why
implemented in
I'm
my current
asking, I
project.
know you are not
Uh-huh.
working on Alteryx, so we are planning to add this tool
Mm-hmm.
in, upcoming in, maybe
Mm-hmm.
next quarter, we are going to add these tools. We have
Mm-hmm.
few finance client, we are planning to make a data auditing and all this process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, can you bit explain what type of analysis you are doing, and few example can you bit give?
Okay, so when you say analysis, it means that for our data management role, right? So in terms of data analysis, first thing first is we need to understand the data, and when I say understand the data, it means that there are certain activities which we need to perform, whether the it is coming from which source. Say for example, let's assume that it's coming from SQL. So whether it's coming from one single database or multiple databases, if it's coming from multiple tables, then understand those tables. So when I say tables, it means that given within the database, we may have multiple tables. So understand those tables first. And if there are, we need to correlate those data. That point of time, we need to understand which kind of joins we will be required. So that's how first thing. Say, assume that I have exported data from Salesforce, say customer data. I have exported that and say around say it is 10,000 data. So usually I'm working on around 10 to 20,000 data for particular university. Say assume that we have exported that Excel. So in that Excel, we need to identify what number of columns we have, and based on those columns, we have to check whether all the fields which are required should have not null. So we have to check whether if there are any blanks. So also check whether during export operation, whether the data is data integrity is correct. When I say data integrity, it means that name Amit Pawar, whether it is written as is or some alphabets has changed. Because sometimes it happens that in the past, I had a client in a different previous job. I had a client from Netherlands. Their alphabets may have a kind of a epsilon kind of O, which usually we loses its traction during the transition from system to export. So that kind of checks we need to perform. Also, we need to check any duplications are available or not. So when I say duplication, it means that say there is a student row, student table, and in that student table, whether the same record is being populated multiple times or not. So deduplication is also one of the required. So all these activity comes under data manipulation and also data cleansing. So these are the activities which we can perform. Also, you need to perform that. First, we need to identify them. So that activity is basically data analysis.
Okay, nice. So you mentioned that you are engaged with the ETL developer projects.
Correct. Yeah.
Specific ETL tool you are using to developing the data integration and a consolidating data process?
Okay, so I will give few examples, from my past
Yeah.
experiences. So one application in one of the university was a kind of a old legacy system where data was kind of a flat files. Okay, so when I say flat files, it means that there is no kind of a relational rule applicable there. It was just flat files downloaded. So we had to, means there was a separate team of Informatica, which they use, Informatica tool to change that flat files to RDBMS, then staging area, and from staging area to actual RDBMS, and then from RDBMS to the it was uploaded to some new application. Okay, so it's basically journey of a same data which was earlier in the form of flat file, now is going into an application. So obviously the Informatica will take care of it, right? So then you will say, what's your job then? So my job is to check the data across each transition. When I say each transition, it means that from flat file to the staging area. Okay, that's one journey where we have to check the data integrity issues. So when I say data integrity issue means that whether the accurate name is populated, SSN number is populated, email ID, and so on. So that we need to check from flat file to the staging area. Okay, that's one thing. From staging area to SQL servers. So that basically millions of record, right? So for that we cannot check each record one by one. So we had a discussion with the client and internal database team as well. So how to overcome that challenge? So what we decided was 2% of data we will extract and do the testing on that. Okay. So from staging to RDBMS, we had a 2% rule applicable. We exported that data in Excel and then find out what were the kind of defects available in that data. Okay, when I say defect, it means that wrong data or data but presented in a wrong manner, or data was missed altogether during the journey from flat file to the staging to RDBMS, right? So that kind of journey was also there. So third part comes is when that data is being imported into the application, we need to check whether the application has received that data correctly or not, right? Because our ultimate goal is to use that existing data, not to lose it, use that data into new application and remove the legacy application. That was the objective. So in this target application, we need to do the check whether that data is available. So what we did was same 2% data was provided to the client and UAT users, and they tested that data whether that data is also being worked out or not. So it's a kind of one part. So second part is in another project, what we did was, as I mentioned earlier, we exported data from some data was available on Salesforce, some data was available on my Azure DevOps. So we exported that data, combined them into first we did the data cleaning on individually, and then merged them into one Excel, and then that Excel was used for the further dashboard creation. So these were the kind of ETL activities I have
Okay,
performed.
nice. How do you see yourself from 5 years now if you're, joining this organization?
Mhm. Okay, so basically, first would be my journey up to 5 years would be to learn new tool sets which are available in your organization. Also the check, because every new job or every new project is a new learning, no matter whether you have done similar activities in the past or not. But whenever you have a new client, a new project, it's altogether new learning. So it's a kind of a new learning, but ultimately we have to keep learning. So say organization brought in, say for example, as you mentioned that the client is planning to bring Alteryx, right? So then learn that Alteryx as well as a tool, or if any other tools which is being offered to us that you need to work on this. So that learning is a kind of continuous journey, so that we need to do. And also from data analyst to ultimately heading toward data governance. That's how I see the roadmap of next 5 years.
Okay, okay. So how soon you will join? What is your notice period of your organization current?
My current notice period is 3 months, but it's a kind of a negotiable. As as there may be chances that the few, as I mentioned earlier, we are very small startup company, and there could be situations basically in the back end happening that we may lose some client. So at that point of time, rather they do the layoffs. I thought, okay, let me learn, apply for the new jobs, and I was looking at the job portal, and I found this data manager role found to be very aligned. So let's see how it goes. But it's a 3 month notice period, but kind of negotiable.
Okay. Do you have a valid passport? Because we every 6 months we
Yes.
have a office meeting in Seattle, USA. You have to travel. Is that fine
Yes.
for you?
Yes. That's absolutely fine. I have the passport and valid passport, and my entire family as well.
Okay. Yeah, Amit, I think I'm clear. I feel positive your profile. And do you have any question for me?
Yes. So basically, what kind of projects do you have? What are the technologies available in your project? And I'm just curious to know so that based on that, if there is
Yeah,
something I'm lacking, I can prepare for.
yeah, as I mentioned, so already the path of everything is going. This time we are expecting the data governance, and we are adding more on analytics tool like Alteryx. We are planning to add maybe other database like data lake tool, Teradata. So this planning to expand the team, and same time our client are looking new technology for data governance and data quality, data lineage, and also we are expecting to expand that MDM data governance and metadata concept for
Hmm.
the few client.
Okay.
So there is no limit. Okay, there is a lot of thing new opportunity will be there. I think will be exciting role. You'll get.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
And
Yeah. Seems
nice to
good.
meet
Yes.
you. Thank you. Nice
Yes,
to
sir.
meet you,
Thank you.
Amit. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, have a
Thank you,
good
sir.
day. Thank you.
Yes. You too, sir.